What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, Season 6, Episode 8, Much Ado About Everything. So let's get back into James and Matalia. So we are still at the scene where James, Matalia, and her parents are having a conversation around the kitchen table about how they've come back to Indonesia to stay permanently. And also, Matalia brings up, because James made her bring it up, Matalia brings up how they have this car debt back in the United States. And Matalia's dad offers to pay for the car debt. And James is insisting that Matalia tell her parents that they don't want to be more of a burden to them than necessary. It's already enough that they're allowing James and Matalia to stay in their home until they get on their feet. But then to take on their car debt, James was like, no, that's where I draw the line. And so he's pressuring Matalia to relay this to her parents, and she's trying to do the best that she can. Then he gets frustrated, and then she gets frustrated because I guess James felt like, um, he wanted Matalia to have more of an input in the conversation instead of him just dictating what to say to her parents. He wanted her to, I guess, give her thoughts and opinions about the whole situation. And she said that she was trying, but she's trying to translate all this information back and forth at the same time. So it was just a lot. It was a lot going on. So she ends up breaking down. She ends up crying. Her father tells her to get down on her knees and kiss her mother's feet and beg for forgiveness from her mother. Then her father tells her to also beg for forgiveness from her father. And the father says, Natalia tells us that this is for the way that she had talked to her husband. She was she kind of got snappy with him. And so this is the reason why her father wanted her to also apologize to her husband and to ask for his forgiveness. The parents say that they'll pay for their debts, whatever debts they have. The parents have no problem paying for that because they just want James and Matalia to be happy so that they can have healthy children. And as far as we know, as the viewer, James is really not interested in having any kids now or ever. But I don't know if Matalia knows that yet. Moving on from there, James and Matalia, they're back at their hotel room and they're talking about what happened at her parents' house. And Matalia is upset that James was pressuring her to say certain things while she was trying to translate between James and her parents. And James says, well, you were pressuring me, to say certain things. And I don't remember her pressuring him. All I do remember is him trying to get her to speak more, get her to be more involved with the conversation and do more than just translating. And so I don't remember her pressuring him to say anything. But anyway, that's how he saw it. And so Matalia tells him that, well, she's upset that she had to apologize to him, but he never apologized to her at her parents' house. So they're going back and forth. They're arguing. And James is like, you know what? If living in Indonesia is going to cause us this much stress in our marriage, maybe we shouldn't live here. Maybe we need to go back to the United States. So then they apologize to each other. And then Matalia says that she's really worried that they just got there. And he just got there. And that James is already talking about going back to the United States. I think that is really his plan. I don't know. He might decide to stay, but on one thing I've realized on 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, very few of the Americans end up actually staying in the other country. Very few of them. I know that there are couples that are still living abroad who have been on this show, but it's not that many compared to the number of couples that we've seen on The Other Way. It's not that many that have actually stayed in the other country. Either the couple ends up breaking up or they both end up coming back to the United States. So I feel like James has already have it set. He's never wanted to live in Indonesia. I think he felt pressured by Matalia to go live there, more so because of her health, because she kept on saying that her health was no good in the United States. She was having some type of a throat or esophagus issue that wasn't getting any better. And so she convinced him that the way for her to improve her health was to go back to Indonesia. And she was also feeling very homesick. And I think he just did this just to appease his wife. But I think that all along, James had plans to come back to the United States. That's just how I feel. I hope I'm proven wrong, because this is something that Matalia really wants. She really wants to stay in Indonesia, and I'm thinking that they can make a go at it in Indonesia. I think that they can, and I think that they should. He told her that he wanted to do this. He's there. So why are you going to flip the script on her all of a sudden and talk about how you want to come back home? And he's using this one fight to justify coming back to America. This one fight, it was just silly to me how he was like, well, well, look what Indonesia is doing to our marriage. We shouldn't stay here. It was just way too silly. And I don't think she's falling for that, but we'll see how that goes. But like I said, I think James never had any intentions of living in Indonesia. Moving on to Joanne and Shawn. So Joanne and Shawn, they're the couple where Shawn lives in Ireland, and they met online. And when she went to go visit him a couple of years ago, they decided to go ahead and get married, but they didn't tell anybody that they had gotten married. So nobody knows. So now she's feeling the pressure to tell her family that she's gotten married to Shawn, because she plans on living in Ireland. And she's planning a visit with her two sons to go to Ireland to meet Shawn. And now that the stakes are really high, now she wants to go ahead and let everybody know that they are actually married, and that they've been married for the past 2 years. So her mother and her aunt come over. Her mom comes over because she's going to be cat sitting her cat while Joanne and her boys are in Ireland. So, where do we start here? Now, the mom is not going to be going to Ireland with Joanne and her children, because the mother believes that Shawn should come to America to visit her, not her traveling to Ireland to go see him. The mom tells us that she doesn't know much about Shawn at all, because Joanne hasn't really said much about him. She really doesn't talk about her relationship with Shawn. And so they've all been kind of like in the dark as far as, her relationship with this man who lives in Ireland. Now, Joanne is scared to death to tell her mom, because her mom is very, domineering. Her mom is abrasive. Her mom tells you, like, she says it how it is. She's one of those people that she doesn't hold back. She'll tell you exactly what she thinks from A to Z. So she's very scared to tell her mom that she's been keeping this secret from her for the past 2 years. So she finally blurts out, because her mother asked her, what are his intentions with you? What is the end goal in all of this? You dating this man who lives in a whole nother country. And Joanne finally blurts out that they're married and that they've been married for the past 2 years. And her mom was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Her mom was not happy about it. Her mom reacted exactly how I expected her mom to react. Her mom was not happy about it. Her mom was very upset about it. So her mom goes through a litany of people that, did Joanne tell her sister? Did she tell this person? Did she tell that person? Did she tell her children? And Joanne's like, no, 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 no. I haven't told anybody at all that I'm already married. So Joanne says that she didn't tell anyone because she didn't want all the negativity or the drama, which I don't know. I mean, you're going to get it. You're going to create more negativity and more drama by withholding this information for 2 years. So it wasn't, you knew, Joanne, that it wasn't going to go over well for you to hide this information from your family. Um, it should have just nipped it in the bud, just tore off the damn Band-Aid, and you should have just told them at the time that you got married. Um, Withholding the information, and you're talking about how you were trying to avoid drama and negativity. I don't see how withholding this information for as long as you did was going to reduce any of that. So she said she didn't want any drama or negativity. And the mom was like, as close as we are, and, with all the stuff that we've been through, you really should have told me. Her mom feels really hurt that Joanne didn't feel comfortable enough to come to her with this information. And Joanne says, well, we didn't tell anybody. And then her mom says, well, I'm not just anybody. I'm your mom. And the mom said that she was really hurt. And she's like, I don't even think I know you anymore, because you've been hiding this whole entire relationship all of this time. You don't talk much about this man. You're keeping all of these secrets. I feel like I don't even know who you are. So then they go into, the mom talks about when she had mentioned, all that we've been through. She was referencing back to when Joanne had a health scare a few years ago, and she had multiple aneurysms in her arteries. and she had gone to the doctor, and the doctors were able to help her, but they told her that if she had not come to them, she would have been dead in 2 weeks. And so that was a very traumatic moment that Joanne and her family went through, and I'm pretty sure her mom was right there by her side every step of the way. So now her mom feels a little bit betrayed by Joanne, like, we've been through so much, I almost lost you, and you can't even tell me that you got married. So she tells her mom that she does plan to live in Ireland, and her plan is to live in Ireland for a month, come back for 2 weeks, go back for a month, come back for 2 weeks. That's what her plan is. So the mom tells us that she knows nothing about Shawn, nothing at all, has never had a conversation with this man. And the mom feels like, what kind of a man, her mom said, what kind of a man would go along with this, not wanting to tell anybody that they got married. So she's looking at Shawn really sideways. So this is making it even worse. So not only is the family upset, or not only is her mother upset about not knowing this information, but the mom now, like, if she wasn't already feeling negative about Shawn, now she really feels negative towards that man, because she's like, how could he think it was okay for y'all to not tell anybody that y'all were married? How could he have been complicit in this plan to withhold this from your family? So yeah, she just made it a thousand times worse as far as I'm concerned. You should have just told them in the beginning. Moving on to Corona and Ingy. So Ingy takes Corona to the flea market. So she gets all dressed. I don't know what the hell Corona was wearing on her way to the damn flea market, because when I think of flea market, and I know, okay, so things were different in Iceland, but when I think of flea market, I'm thinking of a lot of walking. Some of them are outdoor, some of them are indoor, but I'm thinking of a lot of walking, and I want to be comfortable. She had on, I'm going out to the nightclub and I'm trying to catch a man outfit just to go to the damn flea market. It was a full body cat suit, and it had like a plunging neckline. The girls were out, and some, I don't know how, a lot of these boots with these really high chunky heels and metal spikes poking out of them. I'm like, girl, what is going on? It's in the daytime, possibly in the morning, and y'all are just going to the flea market, and you're dressed like this? Anywho, okay. So when she comes out in this outfit, Inky was like, ooh, stunning. He was like, oh my God, you're stunning. And he was like, yeah, you look really good or whatever. And then she was like, that's it? So you're gonna tell me I come out looking like this, and you're just gonna say, oh, you look good, you look okay, you look fine. That's it? You're not gonna? And I'm like, girl, tone it down. You're doing too much. The man said you look stunning. He's probably confused on why you're dressed like that in the morning just to go to the damn flea market. Like, what is going on, Corona? I mean, I understand that you got your own sense of style and you want to express your individualism and you want to express your uniqueness, but girl, this was just doing the most just for the damn flea market. So she was upset that he didn't compliment her more, or he didn't just, fall over when he saw her outfit. So she wasn't happy about that. He was like, I don't know what you want me to do, but I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to figure you out. So they get to the flea market, and they talk about her meeting his parents, because she's supposed to be meeting his parents the next day. She's extremely nervous about it because she is the first girl that Inky is bringing home to meet his parents. On top of that, she's African American. And on top of that, she has her own sense of style. So she's really worried about, whether or not his parents are going to accept her. And Inky's not worried about it at all. He's like, I don't know why you're stressed about it. My parents are going to like you. You have nothing to worry about. And she's like, well, what about the way I dress? And he was like, they don't care about your clothes. They care about you as the person. They don't give a damn about your clothes. And so we're going to see how that goes. Not much going on with Corona and Inky other than the fact that she's about to meet his parents. And her sense of fashion is very questionable. Not the style, but like the timing of it all. Like, you're deciding to look like that just for the flea market. Moving on to Lily and Josh. So Josh has been in China now for 4 days. Lily takes him to go meet her sister, and they're at a tea shop. And we find out that Lily was actually married at the age of 18. She had a very short-lived marriage when she was about 18 years old. It didn't last very long. So you find that out about her. Then the conversation goes to Josh and his employment status. So the sister's really concerned about, are you going to be able to provide for Lily? Josh says, well, because I came here on a spousal visa, I can't work right away. I'm going to have to wait until I'm able to get a job. And so the sister's like, okay, yeah, because we're worried that Lily's going to have to take care of the both of y'all until that happens. And I'm just like, why are y'all worried about that? Y'all understand what the process is. He has to wait until he is able to work legally in China. So, sis, I need you to relax. It's okay. They're working on it because Josh feels really guilty that he's being supported by his wife, that he can't provide. He can't help her out financially. He's feeling super guilty about that. So the sister being all worried about that, like, I mean, do you think he's just not going to work? Like he's just going to choose not to work? I don't think Josh is that way, but I don't really know the man. I don't know. But he can't work right now, so what the hell do y'all want him to do about it? Moving on to Statler and Dempsey. Not much going on there. They're just trying to figure out how to, all the ins and outs of the van. They figured out, like, Dempsey already knew how to put water in the van and how to fill up the water tanks for the van. And she already knew how to, I think it's an electrical van. I don't know if it's a hybrid or what, but she already knew how to charge it. And the only thing that they didn't know was trying to figure out how to heat the van. And the weather was extremely cold. And so Statler was already freaking out because, it was cold and they couldn't figure out how to heat the van. So Dempsey just made a call to the previous owner. The previous owner told them what to do, and then they had heat. And that's about it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.